They built 96 houses on my land, deliberately, not by accident. I inherited 47 acres in Colorado from my grandfather, paid off, untouched. After 3 years away, I returned to scatter his ashes and found my forest replaced by a full subdivision. Paved roads, streetlights, families moving into homes priced at $485,000 each. At the gate, the HOA president, Cassandra Whitmore, told me outright I was a deadbeat squatter, claiming adverse possession made the land legally hers. She'd already banked $16 million in pre-sales. I did nothing at first, letting them complete construction, paint, landscape, and install pools. Then I walked into federal court with my grandfather's 1971 deed in hand. What would you do if someone built a neighborhood on your land? My name's Dakota Flint. 47, structural engineer, divorced, and driving a 2008 Silverado that guzzles oil. Nothing special about me, except I owned a $4.2 million forested property that had been in my family since 1971. William Flint, my grandfather, bought this land in 1971 for $8,200 in cash. Depression-era man, he kept meticulous ledgers smelling of pipe tobacco and WD-40. When he passed in 2019, he left me the property and a note tucked inside the deed. Don't let the bastards take what's yours. I hadn't visited in 3 years, buried under divorce, kids in college, and 70-hour work weeks. Yet I paid the $6,400 property taxes every year, always online. In August 2022, driving up the old fire road to scatter Grandpa's ashes, my stomach sank. The pine forest was gone. In its place stood 96 Mediterranean-style homes, beige, with fake balconies, manicured lawns, and a gated stone entrance reading Ridgeline Heights, a Whitmore luxury community. I checked GPS coordinates 4 times. No mistake. My property had been stolen while I simply lived my life. At the gatehouse, a security guard blocked me. "Residents only," he said. I showed the deed on my phone. He smirked. "Sure, buddy. Turn around." Then a white Range Rover arrived. Out stepped Cassandra Whitmore, mid-50s, Botoxed, pristine white linen, and the aura of someone who's never been told no. She ignored me at first, speaking to the guard, until finally, her eyes met mine. Work boots, jacket, calloused hands. She labeled me poor instantly. "Sweetie," she said, "if you're looking for construction work, we're full." I told her I was the legal owner. She scrolled her phone, smiled sharply, and handed me a card. Brian Keir, her attorney. "Frivolous claim," she said. "All houses sold. Families moving in." Threat or warning, it didn't matter. I left, shaking, staring at the diesel, concrete, and nail guns. She had underestimated one thing, my patience. Back home, I spread Grandpa's documents across my kitchen table. The 1971 deed, tax receipts, survey maps. Cassandra had threatened, photographed, and implied I was a criminal, inadvertently giving me everything I needed to bury her. Monday morning, I called Brian Keir. His receptionist, professionally pleasant, relayed a settlement offer, $15,000 if I signed a quitclaim deed by Friday. 15 grand for $4 million in land? Quitclaim deeds erase all rights without any guarantee, a trap I'd heard about during my divorce. I said no, hanging up immediately. I needed a lawyer capable of making others sweat, not one who'd handled my divorce for $2,200. Marcus, a friend in Cheyenne, suggested Lydia Chen. Her reputation was impeccable. She had beaten a railroad company in an adverse possession case, leaving them desperate to hire her just to stop her. Lydia's office smelled of old leather and lemon polish, an aroma of quiet power. She listened to my story without interruption, taking notes in near-perfect handwriting. She asked for my tax receipts. I pulled a thick folder, spanning from Grandpa's first payment in 1971 to my recent ones. Flipping through, she allowed a faint smile. Colorado's adverse possession requires 18 years of open, hostile possession and tax payments. My claim? Rock solid. She recommended a counterintuitive strategy. Let them finish construction. Stop now, she warned, and Cassandra's company might declare bankruptcy, entangling 96 families in litigation for years. Let them build, then file a declaratory judgment. They'd have committed fraud, selling homes they didn't own, desperate to settle. Legal fees? $40,000 to $50,000, she estimated. I had $12,000 in savings. My Silverado needed a transmission, my daughter's tuition was due. But if we won, damages for trespass, unjust enrichment, and attorney fees would make it worthwhile. Lydia stressed one key rule: no contact with Cassandra. No Facebook posts, no conversations, no comments. Surprise is priceless in property litigation. That day, I signed her retainer, stomach twisting. September slipped into October, and I began visiting Ridgeline Heights twice weekly. I parked on public roads, documenting every frame of construction, framers swarming like ants, plumbers hauling PX tubing, electricians threading wire. Timestamp photos ensured no detail escaped notice. By the third week, Cassandra noticed me. She made a call, and 20 minutes later, a sheriff's cruiser arrived. Deputy Torres, young and uncomfortable, asked for my license. I explained I was on a public road and owned the property. He ran my plates, returned uneasy. Cassandra had claimed harassment. The deputy warned me, if complaints continued, action would follow. Translation: she donates to the sheriff's re-election fund. I kept documenting. Every visit, every photo, became evidence. By November, the first families moved in. U-Hauls blocked cul-de-sacs, kids rode scooters, and the smell of fresh paint mixed with pizza deliveries. I watched families settle, realizing these were not villains. They were people living their dreams. Thanksgiving week, Cassandra escalated. She sent a certified letter, claiming harassment. Inside, photos of my Silverado, red circles on my license plate, threats to sue. I drove straight to Lydia. She laughed, a genuine laugh. They're documenting their own fraud, she said. Every threat, photo, or letter became proof they knew of the dispute yet continued building. She instructed me to do nothing. Let them waste money, generate evidence. Filing would occur in January, after the holidays. Meanwhile, Lydia wanted full intel on Cassandra, property records, business filings, tax liens, financing details. I became an amateur detective, reading plats, permits, and public records like a pro. Boulder County records revealed Whitmore Development LLC was registered in Delaware. Classic red flag. Cassandra was the sole managing member, but financing came from Ridgeline Capital Group, a Denver investment firm. Ridgeline's partner, Preston Whitmore, was married to Cassandra and had a history of lawsuits for construction defects and investor fraud, all quietly settled. Adverse possession claims filed in March 2022 had no legal judgment, yet homes were being sold. This was deliberate, premeditated fraud. I sent the evidence to Lydia securely. She confirmed, if we proved Preston knew of my ownership and acted regardless, it became criminal fraud, not just civil trespass. The stakes were high, but the path was clear. December brought more harassment. Boulder County Code Enforcement called about illegal dumping on my land. I recorded my visit, property pristine, except for the 96 completed homes. Inspector Rick Polson noted the complaint came from Cassandra's office. She aimed to bury me in bureaucratic quicksand, filing false violations to hinder my legal fight. Yet, unbeknownst to her, every action she took deepened her exposure. I drove home, furious but focused. Lydia's strategy remained intact. Observe, document, let them finish, and prepare the declaratory judgment. Evidence accumulated naturally, including reports of her own team falsely accusing me. Every action she took strengthened my case. By Christmas, 84 houses were occupied. Families hung lights, built snowmen, lived their lives. I had a court date set for January 12th. On January 4th, a panicked text from my daughter. "Dad, did you get arrested?" Someone posted online claiming I was harassing families. I opened Facebook. Cassandra had created a post warning the community about me, showing my truck and license plate. Hundreds shared it. Comments called me a predator. My children were scared. I called Lydia immediately. Her response: "Don't respond. Every share is evidence of malice." It was a Hail Mary, trying to discredit me before court. I screenshot everything, documenting every comment, message, and share, building the digital trail of her defamation. The next morning, my boss called. Martin, ex-Navy, ran the structural engineering firm. He closed the door. The client, researching me, feared the optics due to the Facebook post. Effective immediately, I was on personal leave. Paid, yes, but sidelined. Walking out, co-workers avoided me. Jenny from accounting crossed the street. Cassandra wasn't just targeting my legal claim. She was dismantling my life, reputation, and livelihood. I realized her strategy: isolate, intimidate, and demoralize. I called Lydia again. We prepared an emergency motion for a temporary restraining order, covering defamation, emotional distress, and interference with business relations. Lydia warned, "This escalates before it improves. Be ready." January 7th, vandalism. Someone spray-painted "pervert" on my garage. Police report filed. Cassandra's campaign of intimidation had expanded. Yet each act provided new evidence. Lydia reminded me to stay the course, not retaliate. Every action she took, every false claim, every post on social media added to our case. Observing the families, hearing their laughter, smelling fresh paint, I balanced anger with strategy. This wasn't personal. It was tactical. Let them play, let them build. Each threat she made, every legal maneuver she attempted, strengthened the evidence that would ultimately bring her down. I continued photographing Ridgeline Heights daily. Each frame, every timestamp, documented construction progress and occupancy. I captured deliveries, landscaping, utilities, and interior finishes. Every photo created a timeline proving ownership disputes, fraudulent sales, and continued illegal occupation. Cassandra's security measures, cameras, and guards inadvertently documented their own fraud. Lydia reminded me, patience is power. In litigation, preparation trumps emotion. Let them believe they are winning while unknowingly cementing their defeat. Every visit, every click of my camera turned the neighborhood into evidence. Weeks passed. Cassandra's legal threats escalated. Certified letters, anonymous complaints, social media posts, they were all part of her campaign to discredit and intimidate. Yet, her every move violated property law and ethics. Each violation, each documented harassment, strengthened our future claim for declaratory judgment and damages. Lydia guided me to treat every letter, complaint, and post as potential evidence. Her instruction was clear: no engagement, no response, only documentation. In the middle of holiday cheer, construction noise, and daily life, I remained the observer, calculating every step toward justice. I dug deeper into financials and filings. Ridgeline Capital Group's connections, corporate structure, and prior lawsuits reveal the pattern. Preston Whitmore's history of fraud and construction violations exposed the family enterprise behind Cassandra's scheme. The sales were premeditated, knowing I owned the land. Every record collected, every suspicious transfer noted, built the narrative for court. Lydia explained, if we proved knowledge and intent, this became criminal fraud. Strategy focused on two things: evidence accumulation and patience. Let the fraudulent sales proceed. Stop construction now, and legal delays would tie my land in years-long litigation. The calculus was brutal but precise. December passed, families settled into their homes. The holidays amplified stakes. Children played in front yards, neighbors decorated houses, and the community grew. Meanwhile, I monitored, photographed, and documented every move. Lydia's plan unfolded. Every claim Cassandra made, every legal letter sent, every post on social media became evidence. Each attempt to intimidate strengthened my case. I saw the families not as obstacles but as proof. They acted in good faith, unaware of fraud, and their occupancy supported our claim. By January, the neighborhood was a living record of her violations. Court prep intensified. Documentation, evidence organization, witness collection, each step was crucial. Facebook posts, certified letters, code enforcement reports, and property records created an unbroken chain proving my ownership and Cassandra's bad faith. Lydia prepared the declaratory judgment filing meticulously. Every photo, timestamp, and public record became a legal weapon. Despite harassment and social pressure, my focus remained unwavering. Cassandra's actions, meant to intimidate and delay, inadvertently ensured victory. Evidence accumulated naturally, an unintentional monument to her fraud. January 12th arrived. Court date set. Every move Cassandra had made, from harassment to false claims, reinforced our case. Family's good faith occupancy, financial records, and my tax payments demonstrated my legal ownership. Lydia's meticulous preparation ensured no detail was overlooked. The weeks of observation, documentation, and patience culminated here. Cassandra's threats, social media smear campaign, and bureaucratic maneuvers had left her exposed. Justice, strategic, calculated, and inevitable, awaited. The neighborhood she built illegally was now proof, not protection. Her empire rested on fraudulent ground. The culmination was near. Evidence assembled, legal strategy airtight, and public records irrefutable. Cassandra's intimidation had backfired spectacularly. Families and homes she sold unknowingly reinforced my ownership. Fraud, misrepresentation, and harassment were meticulously documented. I had adhered to Lydia's guidance: patience, observation, no retaliation. Grandpa's note echoed in my mind. Don't let the bastards take what's yours. From despair to calculated action, every step led here. The neighborhood, once a symbol of theft, became the keystone of justice. Cassandra's arrogance ensured her undoing. The battle was about to end, and my family's legacy remained secure.